Welcome back, everyone. Today we'll recap a 2011 American action comedy film named Dylan Dog, Dead of Night. Ace detectives Dylan Dog and his partner Marcus deal with both the undead and the real world. When Marcus befalls to be a zombie, Dylan must unfold the monster mystery involved in Louisiana Bayou. Before we start, it is a request to please like and comment on the video as it will help us to grow our reach. At the beginning of the movie, we see a girl named Elizabeth who is cooking food in the kitchen. She calls her dad to have dinner and suddenly she sees blood dripping from the ceiling of the kitchen, which was coming from the room above. She runs to her dad's room and sees that her dad has been killed by a strange creature. Suddenly that creature attacks Elizabeth as well, but she dodges it, causing that creature to fall out of the window, and Elizabeth gets terrified of all this. After this, we hear the voice of Dylan Dog, which tells that he was an expert in paranormal cases. He tells how he helped people by saving them from vampires, zombies, and werewolves. All these creatures live in the middle of the people in the city, who hunt them at night. But after vampires killed his wife Cassandra, Dylan stopped doing paranormal cases and became a private detective. Next, we see Dylan and someone has a gun pointed at him. The man was having an affair with his assistant, about whom Dylan had told his wife and also showed his photos. That's why the man had come to kill Dylan in anger. But Dylan distracts him and takes the gun from him, on which the man tells him that his wife had cheated on him earlier. Dylan says that if he hires him, he can bring him the proofs, after which the man leaves from there. Just then, Dylan's friend and partner Marcus comes there and tells him that he should start taking the same cases again, to which Dylan says that he cannot do it again. Marcus tells him that he received a call from a lady for him from the Garden District, after which they goes to meet her at her house, and it is Elizabeth's house. She tells them that her father Ryan is murdered and says that he is the only one who can help her as no one else in this world will believe her. Then she shows him his old card in which no pulse no problem is written. She tells that this card was given to her by a priest, and Dylan understands that this is a paranormal case. Dylan tells her that he doesn't do all this anymore and starts leaving from there. Elizabeth tells him that her dad has been killed by a monster and she herself saw it. But Dylan does not stop and leaves. Marcus tries to convince him that they should help the girl, but he does not agree. Next, we see a man named Roddy in a club who has taken too many drugs, while a man named Lorca is telling a man named Vargas about the werewolf attack on Ryan. He tells that this attack is a little different and the werewolf seems to be from some other country, which Vargas asks him to investigate about it. Here Roddy starts fighting with a man on whom Vargas attacks him and knocks him unconscious. On the other hand, Marcus is at home when a werewolf comes there and kills him. Then after a while, when Dylan comes home, he sees that everything in the house is scattered, and he sees the dead body of Marcus. After this, the police come there and takes away the dead body of Marcus. Now Dylan is disturbed by Marcus' death and he decides to work on paranormal cases again. He retrieves an old forensics kit from under the floorboards of his office and goes to Elizabeth's house because he thinks that Marcus has also been killed by the same creature who killed Ryan. Dylan tells her that someone is keeping an eye on her house and it wanted to scare him, so killed his friend. Elizabeth asks him who killed her dad, on which he tells that this is the work of a werewolf. Then during the investigation, he finds the hair of the werewolf on the tree outside her father's study. He tells Elizabeth that the creature that killed her father is a female 18 to a 19-year-old werewolf who is a member of the Cisnos werewolf clan. He then visits the Cisnos leader Gabriel, an old friend of his, and tells him that Ryan was murdered by a werewolf from his family. When Gabriel tells him to stay away from the matter, Dylan says that he has also killed his friend Marcus, so he has to come here. Dylan becomes suspicious of his daughter Mara, which makes Gabriel angry, and he asks Dylan to leave and says that Mara cannot do this. Now going out, Dylan is attacked by Gabriel's older son Wolfgang, who is then knocked unconscious by Dylan, using a silver gauntlet. He then goes to a warehouse where he finds Mara's dead body, and then suddenly he is briefly attacked by a vampire named Slake. He then goes to Elizabeth in order to determine what connections may exist between those involved. He tells her that Mara has been killed by a vampire and asks what her father used to do. Now at first, she doesn't tell him anything, but when Dylan scares her about the war between werewolves and vampires, she tells him that her father was a smuggler and he gave her a book of precious artifacts. On the night of his murder, an artifact was stolen which was very valuable. Then all of a sudden many vampires come there and attack them. They start asking Elizabeth about the heart, but they both somehow escape from them and run away from the house. Now on the way, a creature tries to attack them, but they kill him too. Dylan tells Elizabeth that these creatures live like ordinary people among them, which they usually do not know about, and they themselves made him an inspector for them. Earlier, these people used to trust on him, for which he had to pay a very heavy price. Dylan then goes to the morgue, which is run by zombies, to see Marcus's wound and discovers that Marcus has been turned into a zombie and he also has a missing arm. Dylan tells him that he is dead, but Marcus initially doesn't believe him, but finally accepts his condition after Dylan shoots him to prove it. Dylan then takes both Marcus and Elizabeth to the body shop, which is a black market for body parts. While Marcus looks for a new arm, Dylan talks with the owner and is informed that the vampires, led by Vargas, are after an artifact known as the Heart. Vargas, on the other hand, is in a graveyard where he is angry with Locust for failing to bring out the artifact, and Dylan had seen him, due to which the vampires were exposed to Dylan. Then he tells his team that he wants the heart in any condition, and as a punishment, the Locust is buried alive in the coffin. Dylan then goes to the Corpus house, a nightclub owned by Vargas. He talks to Vargas and asks him why did he kill Mara and his friend, and why did his client get attacked. But Vargas denies being involved with the murders and tells him to go. Outside, Dylan finds Slake. He takes him to gunpoint and asks about the artifact. Slake does not tell him anything and runs away from there, but a huge zombie catches him and kills him, and then he starts moving towards Dylan. Dylan shoots him, but to no avail, after which the zombie attacks him and leaves there. Now Dylan comes back home and, keeping Elizabeth in a safe place, comes along with Marcus to search Slake's house, though they learn that Mara and Slake were having an affair. He then goes to Mara's funeral, where Gabriel tells him that Slake has told him about Mara's relationship with him and that he has not murdered Mara. Dylan shows him a photo of the artifact and asks about it, to which Gabriel explains that this will free a huge beast that will bring a lot of destruction, and the vampires have no idea what they are going to do. Next, Elizabeth asks Dylan about his wife, to which he reveals that she was taken away by vampires. He found her dead body in the Corpus house, and then he killed them all. Dylan then visits his old vampire friend Borley. Borley tells Dylan that the artifact known as the Heart is called the Heart of Belial, a cross-like relic that holds the blood of Belial, an ancient monster who cannot be killed unless his master is destroyed. He tells him about a myth that on the night of full moon, Belial can be brought back to this world, for which his blood and a host will be needed, which can be the body of any undead creature. 400 years ago, the artifact disappeared, which was kept hidden by the werewolf family so that no one could misuse it. Dylan then goes to Gabriel, where he finds him in a badly injured condition. He tells Dylan that the heart is with Sclavy and he doesn't have much time to find it. Next, Dylan tells Elizabeth that it was an artifact of a werewolf that Mara killed her father in order to get back, and gives it to her boyfriend Slake. He asks her about Sclavy, to which she says that she doesn't know anything about it. The next morning, he gives Elizabeth a locket to escape the vampires, and Marcus comes there and tells Dylan the whereabouts of the giant zombie. After this, both of them go to the powerhouse, where they meet some other zombies which Dylan shoots. Then they find some skeletons and tubes of vampire blood, which makes him understand that someone is using vampire blood to control the huge zombie. Then suddenly that big zombie attacks Dylan, but Dylan fights with him and knocks him down, where the rest of the zombies start eating him. After this, both of them go to Vargas' house with wooden bullets and reach his bedroom, killing all the vampires. They open all the curtains, due to which sunlight falls on him and his body starts burning. Dylan asks him about Sclavy, to which Vargas reveals that he is an old sleeping vampire who built the corpse house. He then finds Sclavy, who had that heart in his hand. Sclavy wakes up as soon as Dylan takes heart, but he puts him to sleep again. Now as they come out, Vargas' men surround them and take them to Vargas. They had also caught Elizabeth, and Vargas is about to use her as a host. He also reveals here that he was the one who killed Cassandra years ago, thus provoking Dylan to kill the vampire elders and leave Vargas in charge. Then they leave Marcus and Dylan locked in a grave. After Marcus digs himself out and releases Dylan, the duo goes after Vargas, who has taken Elizabeth to the Corpus house. Vargas reveals to Elizabeth that he intends to turn her into a vampire and inject the blood of Belial into her. Then he is about to bite her, but she takes out her sword and attacks him and asks where is the heart. Dylan enters the Corpus house and finds that both Vargas and Elizabeth are gone. On his way to find Elizabeth and Vargas, Dylan realizes that Elizabeth is the real enemy and wants to turn Vargas into Belial as revenge for her father's murder. She tells him that the reason is not revenge. Instead, she explains that her family, an organization of monster hunters, are the good guys, and that the monsters must be destroyed. Dylan says that she is wrong and that she is the monster. She then injects the blood into Vargas's body, due to which he starts transforming into Belial and starts attacking Dylan. Dylan tries to confront him and Elizabeth escapes. But before she can do so, she is attacked by Marcus, who is knocked down by her. Dylan fights off Belial, who is slowly taking over Vargas's body. When Elizabeth tries to stop Belial from killing Dylan, claiming he should do as she says because she is its master, Belial states that anyone who stops him, including his master, is his enemy. After knocking her away, Belial continues after Dylan while Elizabeth escapes, while Wolfgang, who was called by Dylan before the battle, and his werewolf allies attack Elizabeth. They manage to subdue and kill Elizabeth, and at the same time, Belial dies in front of Dylan, leaving Vargas's unconscious body. Dylan gives the heart to Wolfgang, the only one that Dylan can trust to protect it, and goes with Marcus. Finally, Dylan decides to revive his paranormal detective agency, using copies of the same card that Elizabeth gave him earlier. Calling Marcus partner is something that Marcus had wanted for a long time. Please do like and subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon to never miss new video updates. Thanks for watching.